Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome to our coffee times together. Today with one of the classics, most loved booktube videos of all times, a book haul.
It's coffee time!
So if you've been following me for just a little bit, you might have seen me talking about how I'm trying to be a little bit more selective and picky with the books that I buy, and I'm trying to make better choices and choose books that probably are gonna be something that I'm really gonna enjoy and I would like to keep. Also, I'm trying to read more new releases. I'm trying to read a little bit more of horror, and this book haul is kind of like a mix of a lot of different things. I have a total of 15 books, and there are quite a few new releases for this year 2020, so let's go through them. First, I have a couple of science fiction books because I do want to read more, and these two are also 2020 releases. The first one is The Book of Collie by M.R. Carey, and this is book one out of a trilogy. And what I like about this one is that civilization is kind of living behind walls, and they are being told that they are not allowed to venture out of those walls because the woods that are surrounding them are extremely dangerous, and if they attempt to leave, they will die. So I love that premise, and this is a science fiction that I think has a slight touch of horror, so I'm really excited for this. The other one is a sci-fi YA that just sounded so intriguing to me, and that is The Loop by Ben Oliver. And this is a futuristic world in which underage teenagers that have to be on death row have this new kind of jail for them called The Loop, and it's kind of like a purgatory for them. But one day, suddenly, there is kind of like a chaos, an outbreak on the outside of that jail, and they realize that, you know, their problems are bigger than being kept in the loop. The next one is self-explanatory, and that is Come Tumbling Down by Shannon McGuire. This is book 5 on the Wayward Children series. I have the other 4 and have read them and loved them. And of course I wanted to pick up the next one in the series and read it. It is all about these children that when they were young they found a door to another world, and when they come back to reality they have trouble adjusting, and they just want to find again that door to go to their fantasy world. But each child sees something different and experiences something different when they cross that door, and some of the books, you know, kind of follow different children and their experiences with the doors and what they have seen behind them. And I absolutely love this series, so I'm gonna keep buying them as long as she keeps writing them because I really enjoy them. The next one is one that I'm really excited about, and it's also a 2020 release, and that is The Southern's Book Club Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. And I love the premise of this book. We are in the 90s and we have this housewife that is kind of bored. Her husband is a workaholic and she loves true crime and decides to create this kind of book club. And then something starts to happen around the area. People go missing. There is this weird neighbor, and so she kind of feels the need to investigate, and this just sounds so amazing to me. I'm hoping to really love this one. The next book is also a 2020 release, but it's a complete different genre, and that is The Lucky Ones by Liz Lawson. This is a hard-hitting contemporary that includes the topics of a school shooting and survivor's guilt. We're following 2 different characters that meet and kind of, you know, learn that surviving is an option. And I don't know, I am really excited to read this one. I hope it's going to be a really good hard-hitting contemporary. The next one is one that I'm so excited to read because it just sounds so good, and that is The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackwith. And this is about all of those books that were never finished by their authors, that are unfinished, and they end up in this library in hell. Amazing, we already love it. And we have there Claire. She's the head librarian, and she's basically there to protect these stories and these kind of characters that cannot rest because their stories are unfinished, until one day one of the heroes of the stories escapes and tries to find the author that was writing him. So exciting. we love books about books, especially this one is about a library in hell, about unfinished books. Sounds so good. The next one is Though Tall by Neil Shusterman. This is a thick baby and I got this one so I can finish the trilogy because I'm gonna be reading these now in the month of June, and I'm really excited to finish it, but I did not expect the third book to be so big, a big boy. But I'm really excited to finish this. The next one is a book that I'm also going to be reading in June. By the time you see this video, it's already June. And basically everybody in Twitter and booktube have been talking about it, and that is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This is the new book, which is kind of like a prequel to the Hunger Games trilogy, and everybody has been talking about it. And we are following Snow before he was a president and before all the events of the Hunger Games trilogy. I'm keeping my mind open. I don't want to overhype myself with the book too much and then being disappointed, but it's definitely a book that I wanted to check out on the release date because I really love the Hunger Games, so I'm hoping it's gonna be good. The next one is So Kill Girls by Claire Legrand, and this one is one of those that I always debated, do I want to read it, do I not want to read it, but it is based on the island called Soul Rock, I think, and there is these girls that have always been disappearing in the island, and I think in the book we follow different stories from these girls, and it just sounds intriguing to me. I have remained spoiler free. I don't really know what's gonna happen, but it's one of those that's always intrigued me and always had on the back of my mind that I wanted to get to, so I finally grabbed it. The next one is a sort of similar one, and that is Wilder Girls by Rory Power. We have here the Raxter School for Girls that has been put under quarantine after some of the teachers started dying. The teachers were the ones that were affected first. I know it has to do with perhaps a virus or something, but I know it includes body horror, and I've heard really good things about it, and I could also not make up my mind if I wanted to buy it or not, but I decided to give it a chance. And also the cover of this book has been an obsession of mine since it was published. I freaking love this cover, so I finally decided to grab it. Next we have Perfectly Preventable Deaths by Deidre Sullivan, and this one I wanted to read because it's one of those darkish fantasies in which there is this 15-year-old girl that moves into a kind of like isolated town in the mountains where it is well known that girls tend to go missing. So we have another dark story about girls going missing, and I think it has to do a little bit with magic. I'm not really sure, with the supernatural, so I decided to grab it. Next is just a classic that was on sale on Amazon and I decided to grab, and that is Agatha Christie's Crooked House. I did read this one back in the time when I was a lot into Agatha Christie and reading a lot of her novels, but I don't really own her novels. I used to get them from the library in Spain, so I decided to start a slowly kind of like a little collection of her books because I really love her stories. The next one is a book that I read back in the day when it came out, and I really enjoyed it and I would like to reread it at some point, so I decided to pick up a copy, and that is The Shining Girls. And this has to do with a serial killer, time traveling, and it's pretty violent. Really loved it. So yeah, I decided to grab a copy. This is a second-hand copy that I got for not much, so I can add it to the collection. And the last two books that I would like to talk to you about are two books that I bought for my kind of experiment that I'm doing this year of reading horror novels based on islands. At the end of the year I will see how many I have managed to read and give you an update on which were my favorite ones and you know what I thought of them. So most of those books actually I am going to get in ebook form because I don't know if I'm gonna love them or not, but there are two that I did grab in physical form, and these are the last two that I have to show you in this book haul. The first one is The Forgotten Island. We have two sisters that go to Thailand trying to kind of reconnect, and then they find themselves stranded there by themselves with no way to contact anybody on the outside. And yeah, I'm really hoping I'm gonna love this one. That's why I grabbed the physical copy. I also really love the cover, and the other one was a safe bet for me because that is Richard Lehman Island. You know guys, I love Richard Lehman's writing. This is about a group of people that are kind of in like a luxury kind of boat, and they are making this trip when there is an accident and they are left stranded in an island, and then there are dark, deep horrors to be discovered there. Really excited about this one, not gonna lie. So you guys, these are all the books that I decided to add to the collection. As you can see, I have tried to be a little bit more picky, but it's hard sometimes to say no to good book deals, and sometimes also the covers just get us. But I've tried to be a little bit more selective now when I order books. I hope you enjoyed this haul. Please, spoiler free as always, let me know down below what you thought about the books that I have mentioned in this book haul, and if you enjoy it, remember to give it a big thumbs up for support. And if you want to follow me on the social media, the links as always are down below, and I hope to see you all in the next coffee time. Bye!